Hey guys, it is Monique the Melanin Foodie Travel Agent, and I am back with another video. If this is your first time here, welcome. I cover everything from my personal travels, tips, hacks, my lifestyle, and my foodie adventures. So if you like any of that, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Okay guys, today we're going to be covering some tips for solo travel. I am a solo traveler. I've been a solo traveler for a very long time. Yes, I am very much married, and I do still solo travel. Actually, right now I am in Cancun, about to head back home for my first solo trip of 2022. And I get a lot of questions about solo travel, so I kind of wanted to hop on here real quickly and answer some of those questions. So let's cover this right quick. I get this all the time. Why do you travel without your husband? You're married. You shouldn't be traveling without your husband. Listen here. If me and my husband subscribe to the traditional construct of marriage, then maybe so. But we don't. So my husband understands who I am as a person. I understand who he is as a person. And we understand that we also need our time alone to do our own thing and to come back together. For me personally, travel is a passion of mine. I make travel a priority. And before marriage, I traveled by myself. And after marriage, I've traveled by myself. And my husband respects that. Just like he goes on his boys' trips and travel by himself, I respect that. So it simply works for our marriage. Anybody else's marriage, I can't speak on. It works for mine. Also for me, travel is a priority. Meaning, when I list out my priorities, travel's up there. Outside of my family, kids, and my business, travel is a big priority for me. Travel is my peace and it's self-care for me. So I love to travel by myself. People always say like, I can't do that. I need other people there. For me, I am a loner. I am the only child on my mother's side, and I'm the oldest of 5 on my dad's side. I'm used to being alone, so solo travel for me is not a big thing. But I will say I treat solo travel like I treat living in a city or a state by yourself where you don't have any family, which I've done multiple times before. So I kind of have been doing this for a while. So tip number 1, Google solo travel, safe places to travel by yourself. Solo travel is now becoming a huge thing, and so many people are doing it now that Google have lists of places, but also there's so many blogs and articles about solo travel and where you should go if you're traveling by yourself and to be safe. Also, tip number 2. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. Tip number 2, Facebook groups. There are so many Facebook groups for solo travelers, solo male travelers, solo female travelers, solo travel as a whole. So join some of those groups because there are so many people within those groups that give you tips and tricks and hacks. There's like adventure travel, ski travel for solo travelers. I mean, we live in 2022. It's 2022, baby. It's all kind of information out there to doing it by yourself. But join those groups. Google what's safe. Also, while you are Googling, Google safe hotels for solo travelers, because now Google has started putting the safe solo traveler stamp on hotels, especially if that's what you're looking for. Google will put it up there, and it is, I want to say it's like a purple or bluish like banner, and it's like in the corner on the search. But some hotels are marked as safe for solo travelers. Tip number 3, now you've gotten your flight or you're driving, your emergency contacts. I have about 4 emergency contacts, 4 or 5 emergency contacts. I let my emergency contacts know where I'm going, so whatever my flight is, what time I plan on leaving, if I'm driving, the route that I'm taking, what time I'm leaving, what time I'm getting there, and I also drop a pin to my location. That is very important. In saying location, also, another tip, keep your location on. If you have a smartwatch, turn your location on. Phone, keep your location on. That way you are being tracked. It's just important to know where you're going. And if somebody need to find you, they can find you by tracking your location. Especially if you have on a smartwatch. You know, they got all these commercials now where your smartwatch basically tells authorities where you are if you're in an emergency or whatever. Say in the emergency settings on your phone. There are emergency settings on your phone where you can send, if you're in an emergency situations, they will send it out to all of your contacts, all of your emergency contacts. They will send it voice and they will send it via text, and your location. You just have to find it in your settings. Now, if you have an older phone, I don't know if they have that in those settings, but I know the Google Pixel Pro definitely has that in its settings. All the emergency settings. When I'm by myself, I put them all on. Now you have arrived to your location. So if you're flying in and you're taking a transfer service or a taxi, Uber, whatever, I cut my directions on so that I can see, make sure they're following the directions to get to where I'm going. Just like when I got here to Cancun, I got in my transfer service, and although it's a well-known company transfer service, I was the only one in the van of this transfer service. So I plugged in the directions so that I can see where the driver is going. And throughout the route, I pinged my husband my location so that he knew where I was each step of the way. Once you get to your location, make sure that you're watching your back. I mean, it's simple stuff. Make sure you're watching your back. Don't be on your phone. Don't be Instagramming and Facebooking. Like, I know you want to do that, but get checked in, get to your room, put your stuff down, make sure you're safe, make sure nobody's following you before you start pulling out your phone and Instagramming and all the other things. Just be safe. Common sense, really. Now, when you get in your room, check your room. Check your room to make sure nobody's hiding in there. Open all the closets, doors, balcony. I do all of that. I do a thorough check of my room, no matter where I'm going, to make sure I am the only person in that room. If you're worried about somebody breaking into your room while you're sleeping or anything like that, buy this travel lock. This travel lock will keep people out. You simply put this in the hinge of your door, close your door, put the deadbolt on. Then you're going to lock this in place and push down. Once you push down on this, your door is secure. So even if they pop the lock, they still cannot get in. You can shake the lock, shake the door, push the door. This right here, by it being locked into the hinge, they will have to literally tear off the door frame to get in your room. And if they want you that bad, baby, maybe they need to get you. Some solo travelers do not like talking to people when they're by themselves, and I can understand why, because you don't want to let people know that you're by yourselves. However, sometimes you meet other travelers that are by themselves and you get to meet new people. I've met people from all over the world, especially like today, for example. I went on a bike tour that was offered by the resort, and on the tour I met two people from Michigan, married couple, been married for 50 years. They were here with their families, and we went on a bike tour and we got to know each other pretty well. And on the tour, we stopped where some other bikers were to see some alligators and stuff like that. And in stopping, I met some people from the UK. Two of the people were from London, two of the people were from the Midlands, and two of the people were from Scotland. And we just had a good conversation. I told them I was going to London with my husband later this year, and they gave me all the tips and tricks for London, and I wouldn't have never known that. I kept my mouth closed, right? But I also understand that when it comes to traveling by yourself, you want to be as safe as possible. So it's really up to you whether you want to talk to people or not. You do not have to. But one thing I also do while I'm by myself, I look busy. So I don't look like I'm by myself. I look like I'm in a hurry to catch up with somebody, so that people don't recognize that I'm by myself. Also, I do a lot of my videoing and content creating early in the morning before anybody like really gets up and out. That way people don't really recognize that I'm by myself. If you're going to solo travel, I would say also book any tours and excursions with well-known companies. Like when I'm with my husband, we do a lot of local stuff because I feel more secure and safe with my husband being there. But when I'm by myself, I book all my tours and excursions through a well-known company, and I book them prior to coming to whatever destination I'm at. That way I have my confirmation. I have the location of where we're supposed to meet at, so I can send that location to my emergency contacts. it just makes me feel safer to know that this is a well-known company. This has a guide. It's not a tour that I'm doing by myself. I have an actual guide that's, you know, certified to do this. So book with well-known companies. So those are just some of the tips I have for solo travel. I'm going to do a live with one of my good traveling friends later on this year, or probably next month, just whenever our schedules align. But she is a big solo traveler, like country hops solo travel, and she's into adventure travel. So not only is she solo traveling, she's doing adventures all over the world. So we're gonna do a live sometime this year. I don't want to put a date on it. We just have to figure out when our schedules match. But if you do not follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at meals.and.mouths to make sure you are there to see the live and any other upcoming content that I have. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.